Welcome to today's webinar with the topic Journey Mapping at iGrafx. Today, Catherine will guide you through the webinar. She is a pre-sales consultant for the EMEA region and closes the gap between the tech and sales team and thus always tries to present the technical possibilities of iGrafx in a comprehensible way. After just a few introductory slides, we will go straight to the tool to look at various modeling examples of a journey map and how it's possible to link them to internal processes. You are all muted, but you can ask your questions. In the course of the webinar, you can type the questions into the questions window below. You can also set a hack anonymously or not anonymously. It's up to you. At the end of the webinar, we will pick up your questions. We plan about 30 minutes for the webinar and 15 minutes for the Q&A session. After that, we will send you the link to the recording of the webinar, and in this context, we will clarify open questions. This is from my side, and I hand it over to Catherine. I wish you a lot of fun at the webinar.
Hello and a warm welcome also from me, and a thank you to Rena for the nice introduction. We just have half an hour, so let's start right away. First, briefly about us. We are founded in 1991 and are an innovation pioneer since that time, and thus shaped terms such as swim lanes and what-if analysis. We are represented with our partners in over 80 countries, and over 10,000 customers include 2/3 of the Fortune 100 companies. We enter into long-term partnerships with our customers and continue to be an innovation driver in our specialized field of business process management. We've taken into account that there is a quick start and easy use both for the normal user, as well as customization and advanced feature possibilities for our expert users, who can use, for example, our expert simulation solution, in which we are market leaders. We are also happy to just let our customers speak. And as you can see, iGrafx is used across all industries, and our speed and flexible usability are always very valued by our customers. So iGrafx itself consists of a web portal for process management, with which you can gain a lot of time and transparency. Individually adapted to your own needs, you can add more modules. So you activate only as much as you actually use because, for example, not everyone needs an SAP integration. The journey mapping itself is already included in the core of the platform. So this functionality is a standard one you can use immediately. So you can actually start with journey mapping and later on go into business process management. In the area of risk management, we are at the forefront with our development of ROPE, with which we combine the risk management with the automated workflows. And the experts can use the most powerful process simulation in the market, not only default values, but actually detailed statistical formulas from Bernoulli to normal distribution. Everything that a statistician heart would wish for is represented. The operation is very fast and easy to handle. For example, we had a master student who was able to use the simulation to implement a production reduction from 40 to 20 days. You can imagine she was hired directly after master thesis in that company. So for similar to the process management core tool, we use journey mapping to follow a full round trip view. So this lets you not only paint a picture, but also directly integrate it into the process landscape with relationships, so that not only the performance can be measured and risks recorded, but also long-term optimizations can be carried out with the help of gap analysis. For those of you new to journey mapping, it's a way of stepping into the shoes of the customer and follow his purchase journey from his point of view. So the goal of it is to get insights as a company on where the journey may be and may have critical breaks, and view the buying process in a global way and not internal department process slices. By the way, customer really does not care about your department responsibilities. So he has his own problems and wishes, and that is exactly what you as a company want to find out. What drives the customer, and for which of those needs you still have room for improvement. Shortly, I'm going live into the tool where we will look at the ways in which journey maps can be captured in iGrafx. You may have noticed that we are not just talking about customer journey maps here. This has a simple background that we not only allow customer journey maps, but have designed this openly so that even partners, employees, and product journeys can all be modeled with us. We will see examples of this live in the tool. And to prevent that journey map becomes only beautifully colored picture, the journey moments are linked with objects and internal company processes, risks, KPIs, and chances. This enables analysis to be carried out and supports a continuous improvement of the customer experience as it becomes constant part of the company. So let's jump into the platform. So as a standard coming from the BPM world, you would have, for example, a dashboard like we have here now. So with short intro text, a tutorial video that you can use and implement, your maybe to-do list where there's approval cycle, or even a news live data feed, actually just having here the journey mapping that we are having here now. The traditional process house, your personal assignments and roles, so you can jump into the process that is for your responsibility, and the recent changes. So here I have like the traditional way with all just the view, the perspective of myself on the company. So I'm the pre-sales consultant. I have these processes to do, the responsibilities. And so this is what I have here listed and linked. But this is just one perspective. So instead of just keeping in this perspective and having your to-dos and what the company looks at, you can also change into the customer journey. So here we have an example, maybe recognize it from the slides, where we have the persona. So usually you categorize your customers or employees and personas. So it's a bit easier to draw later on the journeys, and have the characterization here. So we have the persona, a process manager who's interested, has a trigger moment here, and goes through the journey until buying and having after sales support. So this is pretty clean start and view to it. Completely different perspective than just having my to-do list. And here we have this describes the info box that opens up and gives me a short summary to this journey. So what kind of journey we have here? It's actually based on a use case, a buying decision of a customer of ours, where we went through him with this journey and asked him a few questions how the journey was for him, or in this case her. And yeah, collected the moments of it, and mapped it with our own strategies and goals, having a look like where some risk opportunities are, maybe what helped us to enable this journey by our own skills and products, and at the end also having a measurement for the customer satisfaction. So you see that the risks and the KPI are listed here. It's not only logically listed, okay, you have a measurement of customer satisfaction, but you actually do have a live data feed coming in. So you have the most current data to really see how it actually is the current status. So if you have such a categorization, use risks and KPIs, you have also the possibility to monitor it. And this is like the big overview for this journey. And now you can go into the details, for example, go into the web demo here and see what happens at this one moment. So in this moment, we have what interests the customer is watch the web demo of the true for bad impression. Do they keep what I promised? Was that what they expected in this one. So you have here, it's supported by the software, the screen sharing. In this case, we use now today Zoom. And yeah, so what could be the risks? And the risks here is not the risk that I as a company see, but that's the risk that the customer sees. So for the customer, would be like, the meeting does not happen, take place, or I get too much information, or maybe the wrong information. So that would be something that is like a waste of time for the customer. That is his risk that he sees there. But also having here later on our own process linked to this moment. So what happens inside our company is here this process that we perform this activity and have a measurement for that. So how often does it go into the next steps in here with the most current data. So this is how you can go through each step, having a look, a more detailed view on a moment itself, on every step of this journey until the end. We have also here the storyboard that's actually linked to an even more detailed view. So this might be like more the main overview for everyone to have a look at. And for actually the customer experience designers, they want to go into more detail and have a look here at the storyboard. I just zoom out for a second so that you have a bigger impression on how it looks like. So we have here um, in the green part, the journey from the customer view with all its steps in the journey, with the moments, how he felt with it, and going in with also KPIs and risks. And here in the gray area beneath, we have our internal processes mapped to each moment of the customer. So you can have a look like what matches, where are gaps. So I just go in again, so we can have a view of one of the steps. So the trigger moment was that a process manager needed a new tool because the performance requirements were not met with the old tool. So that's where the journey started, the interest, and the research followed with that. So you can list here which touch points were used in this journey. Of course, it could be also that research itself normally is supported by more touch points. So there are more touch points where this customer could get in touch with us. But in this case, it was just the homepage. And so we have for our homepage, maybe the Google Analytics traffic viewing how many customer visits have action. But internally, the view is how many leads were created through the homepage, how many customers do we generate, so how is the process, what happens with the traffic internally. So this is something where you can really have a look, like from the external change perspectives, compare and see where gaps can be found, or maybe where you don't accompany the customer enough in the journey and may be needed that you go into it deeper in this moment and to support it. So even you can see, you can add documents here, which you can view immediately, view the file, so you can see the documents here. They are also being uploaded. We have no limitation on how many or how big the documents can be. So you can fully put everything you have in here to create this map. We have even put in here a glossary, so you can have more information on, for example, what the zero moment of truth means, and look it up. So this is coming the moment of truth, indicating very important steps like turnaround in this journey, where you certainly have to take care more in detail. So this is like the possibility that you, of course, you don't have to go this big. You can also use just a simple overview we had here. And I want to give you also a few impressions on how differently you can draw this, because in the BPM world, you usually usually use the BPM notation 2.0, standardized, so you can automate it. But for the customer journey, it's all about going into the shoes of the customer and be very individual. It's a lot about also going through marketing and agency and design. So this gives you really a freely possibility to draw it as it makes sense for your personal journey. So one of it could be also looking like this, where you just have a map with a few highlighted points. Or if I go now into the repository for more details. So far we have been on the viewer um, perspective. So every user that goes in here and has a published diagram, they can view it and see it here. Even go like into my assignments list or my to-do list, and they only see the approved diagrams. But in full, the repository, if you're not familiar with that, just a short introduction. We have in the repository a central object world where you have usually the processes defined with the resources that do it, have matched the risks, catalogs, and opportunities. And for the journey, we have here the journey objects where you create the moments and touch points. Also the external agents that often go into this journey. But also important for it are the capabilities, the products, the services. So all this you can model here and have in your private section here in your folders all the diagrams and documents that go with all these processes. So if we go now into the section of the journeys, we have here the journey mapping with the different kind of maps that we can view now. So we started out with the B2B customer journey, but also you can have, for example, the B2C. So this is very straightforward, forwardly painted. We have Anna, the young adult. In this case, let's have a look at the info box. A woman wanting to buy a laptop, and she wants to buy a laptop with a tablet function to replace uh, the two older devices she has with the new one. So this is like the initiation of this journey, and then goes from the interest where, in this case, she saw it on the advertisement that it's a possibility, and going through the product research through all these points until the end. And here you see again the moment itself has more supported touch points. In this case, it was a journal where she had a look at. A different one you can also integrate going further, starting simple and then adding loyalty loops, having a look here, combining a bit already of process management with journey mapping. So you can create a KPI and having a look how often does it go into negative, into positive, how many can you keep in the loyalty loop as a customer for the future, and analyze also after sales and ratings, how they impact your further customer base. Going away from the customer, also the employee. So nowadays it's not always that easy to get a right employee, have the applicant, and going through all the process. So this is actually from the design pretty close to the BPM notation, but still from the view of the applicant going through with his shoes through this journey and having a look at what happens here, where is here a breaking point, yes, no, and also measurement like what the evaluation of the portal. We have here Kununu in Germany that is very often viewed, where you can have a look how your new job might be, what others are saying about them. And yeah, so also this journey is very important sign that is for the company to get the best employees. And if they go the applicants through a good journey, the better, the more you will get also the good applicants. So yeah, similar to that, you can just create very different journeys depending on what you want to have a look at. So you see from very BPM to a completely different design, everything you can use, or even have like the product journey here, where also have a round trip from evolving, creating, finalizing, onboarding the customer until also a product is renewed or recycled and it goes along. So you can also interconnect these journeys with each other. So here we have the onboard customer. We can jump from here back to the customer journey. So this is something that goes hand in hand. So we had now a few examples of how it can be drawn. But a really nice thing about all this is that you can use it later on also for reports. So we can go here in the report section and have, besides the normal process management and governance risk reports, also certain journey mapping reports. You can do them individually. So you can create them anytime as you wish. These are just a few examples of how they could look like. So in this case, we have a big overview with all the different journeys, see immediately which persona is here, which moments it's supporting, which moment of it is such a moment of truth, the touch points going in there, and even here in this case, like the business service capabilities, the goals, and until even KPIs, risk and chances. So all this you can here list and use and create different overviews with different listings. Here we have the overview of just a B2B customer journey, and in this case matched to your internal processes. So you can see immediately where is maybe missing a gap. I also have for my internal processes a KPI. Does it match to what I measure during the customer journey? So you can compare with each other. So even a matrix, you can create all those reports that you can create here. You can download them to further adjust, to make comments, to use it in your presentation internally, and can so get an impression. What you choose for with the column or the slide, it's up to you. So you can adjust them anytime. And the matrix even stays, design even stays in Excel. Yeah, so you can also go into detail of certain topics like the moment of truth, having a view here where the moment of truth happens, if I have a measurement for that, because it's one of the turning points, or go into a channel analysis to see which touch points are in which type, sort them, having a look with all the digital channels in which moments, in which journeys they appear, or where I do still have analog channels that I have to take care of. Okay. And even the traditional risk matrix generates itself. So as soon as I have risks mapped to a certain moment, instead of displaying the risk matrix of the process with the risks, I can also have a look with the moments with the risks. And here we have, for example, very high risk with the demo and proof of concept. So this is most certainly something where I have to have a close look at, maybe see to it that I have some mitigating of the risks, where I put some controls in there, or take very good care that these moments go perfectly. Also, this all this information can be put together in dashboards. So we had like the welcoming dashboards from the user of the process management. but actually you can also create your journey dashboard. So here we have the customer satisfaction at the beginning to really see how it is, for example, also in regions in this case. But I also can click into the performance tree here and have a view. We have the simple traffic light system. So green and yellow is actually pretty good. But if it would turn to red, or even if I say, okay, yellow is maybe not enough for me, I can go in and have a look at a KPI and see what's happening there. Also here I have the list of all my moments from the journey, and integrated also my map. So instead of the process house, I have here the journey map and a report that is here also integrated directly in the dashboard, where I can see everything and jump into it. So everything is linked. I can immediately jump into the certain topics to have a look there. Here we have just a customer satisfaction in a pie diagram, but I can also create one with even more details here, going into the details of the customer satisfaction, having a look what happens when looking for a bigger time or going into more detailed timing, having here the complete list of what happening there, and also the performance tree with all the customer satisfaction. And here, for example, the red light. So I'm under a certain degree that I didn't want to be, and can have a look here also into the data, what happened there. So you always have it, everything in full view. This is all a live data feed. So you have the most current data going into the tool and being able to see immediately what's happening and what status is your journey. Also works, of course, for the processes. So this is something that really makes it the round trip. So you start with the drawing, have all the information, you can map the information to each other, analyze it, have the measurement, and with the measurement, you can then go back and optimize everything about the journey and your internal processes. So I jump back into the view. So we just looked at it too and its possibilities of designing the journey map and how it can be embedded into the entire process structure of the company. You have the full flexibility depending on the industry and the area to customize them for your personal needs. So iGrafx offers several deployment options. However, the latest features, such as today's journey mapping, are only available in the cloud. In general, further development will focus on the cloud, and on the long run, some features will never be available on premises. The advantage of the cloud is that the updates are done without any effort by your own IT, and therefore the latest updates are automatically available. Because you can host them also yourself, depending on what structure you have. So what we saw was at the beginning also from the viewer point of view, like just reading it, and then later on going into the collaboration designing. We are often asked how long it takes to start with iGrafx. You can of course start immediately, or as our two customers, Mabel Navis here, take our individualization offer of our consultants so that everything is displayed in your look and feel, and everyone receives a refresher course and a BPM presentation. In these cases, they are still just ready to start in 1 week. The practical thing about our graphic is that you are instantly fit for the future, in addition to the scalability of the platform, which runs even our installation of users in the 6-digit range, one of the largest banks in the United States. You can rely on our graphics for simple enhancements like the expert simulation without having to change the system just because a specialist department needs an expert tool. The ability to fluently interconnect different topics makes iGrafx an important tool for a holistic view of your own company. So now we reach a time for questions. Please submit them into your Q&A window. And to give you some time to write and submit those questions, I will hand over to Irina for a quick debrief on our events in EMEA next year.
Many thanks, Catherine, for detailed information to this exciting topic. Before we get to the questions, I would like to point out our events in the EMEA region. As exhibitors, we will be at various events in the coming year, and the focus will be on all important topics relating to digitization. You have the opportunity to discuss all your topics with our BPM experts and to take solutions with you. Come by and collect new ideas for optimizing your business processes. If you're interested in the event or webinars, please visit our website and register. And now we will answer your questions. The first question, does the tool come with templates to help teams get started?
In standard, you start with the blank page, but of course we can upload you a few templates that you can use for starting. For example, the ones we saw now. If one of them takes your interest, just give us a note and you can upload it then.
Are the different shapes for journeys shown in the examples already included, or are these custom shape libraries and each customer must create own shapes?
Mm-hmm. We have already a few basic shapes included. We are currently designing also a new set. The set that you saw today, we can also upload it for you if you say that's something you want to use. And additionally to that, you can, of course, anytime create your own ones to use for the journey mapping. So this is actually something that's pretty often done because journey mapping, in addition to in difference to the BPM notation, gives you the freedom of really expressing yourself and the differences. So this is something that is enhanced by also the individual shape libraries that you can create.
What type of train the trainer programs do you offer? Detailed user guides?
Yeah, we have a wide range of workshops and consulting programs. You can actually on our homepage and services, you can find a few training programs that we create. We have a whole consulting team, and just contact us, and we'll the consultant we'll have a talk with you what you need and what we can offer, from basic just BPM notation training to specific workshops on conventions of how you want to do it in iGrafx. The range is quite big there.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. The next question. Thank you for the excellent presentation. Will you have more webinars for journey mapping? Are there any given in the USA market?
Okay, I'm currently speaking from Munich to you. So yeah, we definitely will have a few journey mapping presentations coming next year. It seems to really be something that gains a lot of interest, something that for a lot of customers is a new field. In the US market itself, you can follow the website webinar in English, and most certainly there will also something come up next year.
Okay. So, does this application interface directly with the statistical analysis software, for example, Minitab?
Yeah, you can integrate import and export of data and reports. It's actually guaranteed through the interfaces with Excel or statistical software packages, for example, Minitab and also GMP. So most certainly that's something you can use.
Okay. So the next question. Hmm. Any user guides with examples? Do you have, so Catherine?
Mhm. Again, with what was the question? And any user guides?
With the examples, yes.
Mhm. We have actually pretty new. You will send the presentation. But I can set up a few examples, and so far we have it in our workshops with the consulting with further examples. Not yet any user guides.
Is there an option for an on-premise server based on automated pseudo system? We have errors that cannot always have cloud-based systems.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a pretty specific point. Um, I would recommend to have a quick talk, maybe just give us a short notice afterwards with our technical offices. So to have a look on how to put it. You can host it yourself also, so it does not necessarily need to be the cloud hosting service with us. So maybe we can find there a solution that you can still implement it.
Mhm. Can you show or explain how we can collaborate, contribute to the customer journey process, specifically in the initial parts where we start defining the journey and personas?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the platform itself has a few collaboration possibilities that you can use. It's basically going the same direction of the process management. So you can leave comments and notes with existing journey maps, and also link them whatever it is that you're commenting. So you can leave it a comment for the persona, later on the other, or even do a workshop with the objects at the beginning directly, and have their workshop where you put in the personas and define them first, and then put it in a system and work there together. So this is something you can use either from the drawing itself. You can recommend new objects, new personas, or the other way around, have it directly in the implementation.
Mhm. Uh, can we start with the journey mapping and add process management later on?
Yeah, actually, you can start right away. It's in the core of the platform. So this is something that's not necessarily interconnected. You can just start with the journey mapping, and later on map it with your internal processes when you're at a point to have them finally defined and modeled. So it's completely free up to you which way you go, or if you do first journey, then the process management, or the other way around, or even do it parallel.
I like the presentation, but you introduced many new concepts. How do we understand the interaction of all these new ideas? How depends is the implementation and having all the different elements in place?
Okay. Yeah, actually, this was kind of more a follow-up presentation on if you're already familiar with the basic process management concept elements of the platform. Of course, we have also basic presentations for the models where we introduce one by one how the platform is meant and how it all works, with also all the histories and cycles and everything. So maybe we can just give us a short content afterwards, and we can see to it that we give you an individual demo, or we can go through the basics first and then the finishing with the journey mapping. But actually, if you don't have the further elements to it at, where I'm shown just like a quick impression overall, you can just like use the basic customer journey mapping with without the other elements like the big storyboard. You can just keep it simple, so you don't have to use everything. It's just to give you some impression of possibilities.
Mhm. I noticed this interfaces with Office 365. Does it also interface with Office 2013, 16, or 19? Does it also interface with Project?
Actually, you don't necessarily need Office for that. The only thing that you need, especially for this cloud version, is that you have a browser and internet. Of course, we recommend the newest browsers, so they should be more or less up to date. I can provide you also a more specified list for that. But like from the last years, the browsers, this is everything that you need, and you can use them it immediately. And that's the nice thing. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to check it if it runs with this or that Microsoft version. Just browser and internet, even works on tablets and phones.
Do best practice examples exist that we can use for the journeys?
Um, yeah, so the examples that a few of them that we saw can also be uploaded into your system if you're interested, or have the consulting training team to go through with them with you. So this is definitely something that you can do.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. So we don't have any questions, and we invite you to try our free version for 30 days. And it's the end of the webinar, and we wish you a very nice day, and till the next webinar.
Also from my side, thank you very much and wish you a great afternoon.